What's up, taters? This is Tree from treeoflogic.com. And yes, I got to talk about that interview that Piers Morgan did on No Joy Reid. This was hilarious. I sat there and watched throughout the entire interview. And let me tell you something. I pick out the best parts for you guys. I'm not going to let you suffer what I suffered through. This woman has no self-awareness whatsoever. She was like talking about race and focusing on race and then called Piers Morgan a race baiter. Said it was his shtick to talk about race. I'm like, Heifer, have you ever watched your own shows? Like, she had no self-awareness. It was so amazing. So what I did is I sat there and I watched the entire thing. And I picked bits and pieces from the interview because it's like well over an hour long. And I wasn't going to make like an hour long response to it. But I picked the best parts. So let's go ahead and watch that now. And I think you're going to enjoy what I have to present to you. Okay, so the first clip I'm going to show is when Piers Morgan asks Joy, why did you block him on Twitter? And she doesn't really give an answer because at first she says, oh, I left Twitter ever since Elon took over. He's like, you blocked me before, then when? She doesn't acknowledge why. And then he asks, why are you so race-based? Why do you keep focusing on racial issues and actually just being a race baiter on your show? And this is where she deflects onto Trump bad.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so this is an interesting conversation because there is no one who is more obsessed with racial identity politics than Donald Trump. He ran the most racial identity politics laden campaign that I've seen in my lifetime. And I've been following politics since I was 12. The point of his campaign was, if I was to sum it up, that immigrants, whom he identified as gang members from Venezuela, as people from S-hole countries, as essentially any non-white migrant or immigrant in the country, were vermin who were poisoning the blood of our country.
Well, he was talking about criminal, illegal immigrants. He was talking.
Not only that, though, he never mentioned race. These people are so racist. So she says they're so racist that they're thinking like, oh, he talked about immigrants and white people are never immigrants. So anybody that Trump is against is non-white, so it's immigrants being non-white. That's so racist. You're saying white people can't be immigrants? Oh, we do have some white immigrants, okay? We have some Asian immigrants, but I guess you want to say that he's racist against that too. Also, remember what Joy said earlier. Joy said that Donald Trump runs on a race identity, a racial identity platform. He had a race-based presidency. Then once he got elected, now he's running racial policies. And then she started talking about immigrants. And I'm like, immigrant isn't a race, idiot. And not only that, as Piers Morgan said earlier, he's talking about illegal immigrants, and these clowns love to conflate the two with mixing immigrants who are here legally, who did the right thing and came here legally, and they like to conflate it with those who broke the law coming into this country, those who come in here illegally, the criminals that are here illegally. So she wants to talk about illegal immigrants as if they are legal immigrants and paint Trump and all the Republicans as if we're against all immigrations, which is not true. We are against illegal immigrants, not legal immigrants.
Well, hang on. He was talking. You can't misquote him off the top. This is my point, though. This is my point. I remember. Let me just say something, Joy. I remember when he won in 2016. I was at the New York Knicks the next day with my eldest son, and Chris Rock was there at the next table. We got talking. I said, "Why do you think Trump won?" And he said, "You know why?" He said, "If someone's murdered 8 people, stop going around saying he's murdered 9." He didn't mean Trump had actually murdered anyone. What he meant was, there's plenty to criticize Trump about. I've done it myself many times. But there's also a lot of stuff that resonates with people. And I think it's the over-exaggeration, the over-demonization of Trump is part of the problem. And your characterization of his depiction of immigrants, you said the word immigrants. Actually, what he was talking about repeatedly on his stump in his rallies was specifically illegal immigrants who come in illegally, who are criminals, who are already convicted criminals who've come into America across the southern border in huge numbers who are criminals. He wasn't talking about non-criminal immigrants, as you tried to put it there.
Not only that, there's one more thing I want to say before we go to the next clip. You know, these Democrats have a problem with Trump saying, we don't want people from S-hole countries. And, like, they don't like him saying that because it's not politically correct. And most, if not the majority of those S-hole countries are from Africa. No lies detected. So, you know, because of that, oh, you're racist, you don't want criminals coming in here. Oh, well, most criminals are black and brown. You must be racist. This is absurd. But anyway, let's move over to the next clip. I think the next clip is where it's going to get a little hilarious. All right, now this is going to be funny, and I'm going to let it play all the way through, but I'm going to laugh in the process. Because this is when Joy gets so triggered. She gets a little unhinged and she doesn't let Piers talk. And he's got to really verbally fight in order to get his point across. And eventually she shuts up and let him say something. But this is what I'm saying. She tries to bully him into silence and it's just not working. But she's so triggered that she wouldn't shut up, and it is funny. Let's watch it. It starts off slow, but trust me, when it gets going, you're going to really enjoy it.
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well, hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue.
You're trying
to make the issue the southern border.
You've just given me...
Joy. The point is, Barack Obama was not dragging women and nursing babies apart and taking...
Joy, you've just given me...
I'm sure going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me...
But it's not my main issue. My main issue is that what we're seeing...
I'm trying to finish my sentence.
Joy, shut up. Joy, white man talking. Joy. Dude, she wouldn't shut up for nothing. This is what I'm saying. Like, she's so confrontational. She's so defensive because she knows she's wrong. And she does a lot of projection, calling Trump racist, calling Piers racist. Like, she's the racist here. Let's just be honest about it. But, okay, so Piers finally got her to shut up, and now he got something to say, so let's hear it.
You've just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you, there was a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me, I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a guess.
I think each 2 million.
Right, it was 3 million.
How did you not know that, Joy? How is it that you know all the policies, everybody who's been deported, all the numbers, you know how much money was allocated to the control border as well as to ICE, you know, and to the FBI as well, the DEA. How is it that you know everything about Trump, but you didn't even know how many people that Obama had deported? Also, don't lie. You didn't even put any type of confrontational videos about Obama's deportations policies. As a matter of fact, Trump can't even scratch those numbers. He hasn't even reached those numbers yet. Obama deported so many of these people, and y'all said nothing. You didn't go down to the gates and start crying, oh, the children. You didn't start protesting in the streets and actually attacking ICE. You didn't do anything because a black man was doing it. And you didn't call a black man racist. But because when a white man does the same thing, not even at the same level, let's be clear. Trump got a long ways before he gets those numbers that Obama has, all right, when it comes to deportation. You say nothing when Obama does it, but when Trump does it, racist, fascist, Nazi. You guys are clowns.
Okay. And your point being what?
My point being, are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump?
No.
30s Germany or South Africa in the 1980s. Yeah, that is what I find objectionable and I find fundamentally fascist and will stand by that every day. What Donald Trump is doing is a moral horror.
I hear you.
And if you can't see that, I don't know what to tell you.
I hear you. All I'll tell you is that Obama deported a hell of a lot more people
but that
than
isn't
Trump.
The issue. The
and
issue
most
is,
of them were
was
brown. And last time I checked, Barack Obama isn't white. So it may not be
and
a
what
race
does that have
thing.
to do with Barack Obama being white? Now you're the one obsessed with race.
What are you talking about? You the one. He kept saying that Trump was running on a racist platform. Trump is the racist because he keeps deporting black and brown people. And it's like Obama did the same thing, but he's not racist. You keep bringing up race. And so that is what Piers is doing. Piers is bringing up race because you keep bringing it up. No self-awareness whatsoever. Wow.
I want to make this a racial argument. The argument is that the Biden administration, because Donald Trump fixates on attacking black people,
deporting people based on their skin color.
Well, it is what he does. He plays racial politics as a matter of course.
Obama did it too, only worse.
It's what his politics were all about. His politics are about removing as many non-white people clearly from the country as they can, 3,000 a day.
And that's what Obama's policy was too.
This is what I'm saying. She's not listening to Piers say, everything you're saying Trump did, Obama did it better. Everything you're saying that Trump is doing, Obama did it better. And you're not calling Obama any type of names like racist and fascist. You're not calling him a supremacist. You're not calling him a Nazi. Why? One, you like Obama. Two, he's black. So you're just not going to put him in the same level and give him a pass because you're racist. You're jealous of white people? And this is where a lot of you all who have a problem with white people, you're just envious of them.
Here.
That's what Obama's policy was too.
No, it was not. And there was no rendering of people. There was a process for deportation, and you know that it's materially different.
As we sit here, Obama deported more people pro rata per year than Trump has ever done.
How many did he render to a third party? How many did he render to a third party? Because what he's also doing
is outraged by Trump, but you're not outraged by Obama.
I'm absolutely outraged by fascism and by snatching people off the streets.
But Obama wasn't a fascist.
No process,
he's not,
absolutely I'm outraged by it.
Because Obama's got brown skin, he's not a fascist. Is that your policy?
Well, that's your simplistic, racialized way of looking at it, because that is what you're doing on the show.
It's yours about Trump.
No, mine is about fascism.
I want to move on.
Trump is acting
I don't want to spend the whole time talking about this.
Person that behaves the way he does, trying to take people's citizenship away.
She still won't shut up. That's what I'm saying. She's so triggered. But she also doesn't want him to basically make good points against her. And there's a lot of good points he has made against her when he had an opportunity to. But also there's a lot of points he didn't get a chance to make because she doesn't shut up.
Denaturalizing. That's Idi Amin behavior. There's a black fascist that you can compare it to.
Okay, let's move on to, I want to just play a clip of...
oh my God, Lord have mercy. This was, I must admit, I was getting frustrated, but I was a little entertained as well. So there's that. All right, let's go to the next clip. Okay, with this clip, they just watched Joy have a conversation with Mark Lamont. I think that's his name. And, of course, playing the racial card again. Oh, white America, the president's racist, blah, 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 blah. So she's not blaming her show being canceled on herself. She's blaming it on, of course, white people. And here's where Piers calls her out.
Now, Joy, I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin colour or because you're a black woman. I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with me, Piers. I find it actually quite charming.
You racialize more conversations in your tenure at MSNBC than any host in history.
All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get that this is your shtick.
You racialize it.
That's your shtick. That's the thing. It's your shtick. The projection. This is what I'm talking about. She projects all the time. You're the one who always bring up race. It's you, Joy. That's all you do. That's everything you do. There's not one show that you have aired on MSNBC or even by yourself where you don't bring up white man bad. Or white people bad. okay? Or, oh, oppress black people. You always do it at every show. And it's pathetic. You're pathetic. Let me rewind a little bit of this.
With Mark Lamont Hill that you're clipping bits of.
All
right, Mark. All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get that this is your shtick.
You racialized everything, Joy. Come on.
I get it. I understand this is your shtick, Piers. And listen, game recognize the game. I get that this is your shtick. And the bottom line,
it was your
shtick. It is your shtick. And everyone knows that it is. Piers, we understand what it is. And it is so interesting to me that you, yourself, as a white European, find...
See, look to This is just so great. Like, oh my God. You talk about, you accuse him to turn everything racial and then point out his race. But I'm sure you're going to say something about, I forgot what she said here in this part, that, you know, she had to bring out his race for a second. Let's watch that again.
Back to that. That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put, and I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it hilarious because you're the one who said Donald Trump.
You and your friend Donald Trump.
You said Donald Trump is a white fascist.
He is. I agree with Mark
Obama did the same thing.
Last time I checked,
I'm not allowed to mention his skin color.
I agree with his former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black and said he's fascist, and Mark Milley said he's fascist to the core. Okay. So I happen to agree, and I know this is what it's important to you, with two very white gentlemen about Donald Trump's fascist tendencies. Okay. If that makes you sad and uncomfortable, I can't help you.
No, it doesn't make me sad and uncomfortable. I think it makes you a little bit of a hypocrite, but that's different.
A little bit of a hypocrite. It makes her a big hypocrite. I guess I didn't fast forward back to where she was. Where it was originally, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and look at the next clip I have. Like I got all the juicy clips here for you in this video, y'all. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, let's get to the next clip. Okay, in this clip, this is where Piers actually shows how awful, and I'm so glad this chick don't have no kids, but just how much of an awful person Jill is. Jill doesn't mind over-sexualized books being introduced to little children, especially those books that have SA in it, okay, that have sex toys in it. She doesn't find that inappropriate being introduced to little children. And so I think the Moms of Liberty called her out on her own show and made her look like the fool that she is. Piers just played that clip, and now he's basically asking her, like, can you explain yourself? And she's doing a terrible job at that, making an excuse of, oh, they only got one little thing they had a dildo in it, and now they just want to ban all the books. So we'll go to that part right now.
Looking for words in the book that make them uncomfortable, and then attempting to ban books by the hundreds.
Out of interest, but just to be clear,
And so I asked her,
do you think books? All right. Do you think school children at school should have access to books in their library which involve strap-on dildos?
Again, you're taking a book that has multiple subjects, and you're taking this.
She doesn't answer the question. She never answered the question. Okay, she is. We know the answer, right? She's okay with it. She's okay with it because these people are PDF file, or if they're not PDF file themselves, they are PDF file protectors. So she never answered this question, but we know the answer.
Award-winning book and dumbing it down to
I just asked you a simple question.
You may feel uncomfortable. And the bottom line is, these books that were published by publishers who had an opportunity to say no, looked at these books. These are award-winning books, and I think parents should have the opportunity to opt their children out if they don't feel comfortable reading those books, but that children who are old enough and who are of age and can choose the books they want to read.
What's the age, Joy? What's the age? Joy believed the age is at 8 or 9. I don't even think teenagers should be reading these type of books. Okay, not at the school library. No, what? Not even in a public school. I mean, what is the purpose of that? Why should a child read about another small child getting SA'd, actually being introduced to sex toys? Like, I don't understand the purpose of all that. It's just so crazy, these people.
And may feel seen in a book that you might object to, ought to have the opportunity to read that book. That shouldn't be your decision. It shouldn't be Moms for Liberty's decision. I think each parent can make the decision for their own children, and I don't think that woman from Moms for Liberty or her organization should make that decision for other people's children. People ought to make decisions for their own children. And by the way, one more thing I'll add.
She doesn't shut up. She doesn't shut up because she knows she's wrong. She likes to stack. And first of all, the Moms of Liberty, that group, doesn't want pornography in the library. That's all that is. This clown wants it in there. She's okay. She's a pervert. She's an extreme degenerate, and she doesn't want children to read wholesome books where it doesn't have sexualized content. She wants all the books to be sexualized. She wants all of them to be perverted because she wants these children to be groomed.
The state of Florida, parents can opt their children out of reading books that they don't want to read.
All right, let me ask you.
She could have done that like any other parent.
Have you watched Brokeback Mountain?
No.
Okay. I mean,
and what is the point of that?
Well, because you said I don't want to watch the two male characters in Brokeback Mountain having sex.
Okay, so what does me watching Brokeback Mountain have to do with that book, whether or not it is pornographic?
No, nothing to do with the book.
That is a book that people can have the opportunity to read if they so choose.
No, I'm not talking about the book.
I do not understand how an organization can make a decision. It is not about the movie. It is about whether or not Moms for Liberty
I'm not talking about the book.
The organization who should make...
She's not listening. She's so triggered. She's not listening. She's not listening. She doesn't hear. It's not about the book. It's not about the book. What Piers is talking about is her blog, the very homophobic blog that she had to disavow, the blog where she accused someone of hacking and writing that stuff, but that she did that because she didn't want to get fired on MSNBC. And now that she doesn't work for any of these news networks anymore, she can just come clean and say, yeah, I don't watch Brokeback Mountain because, well, I don't want to see two men kiss. That's all she had to say because she said it in her blog.
Decisions for other
I'm not talking
children.
about the book,
Whether
as you know.
I've watched a movie or not makes absolutely no difference.
I'm talking about you posting on your blog that you wouldn't watch Brokeback Mountain because you don't want to see two male characters having sex. Does that make me homophobic? Probably. Most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing. Your words, not mine, Joy.
Whoop, whoop.
And your point is?
That maybe that makes you a bit of a hypocrite when you're taking the position of being an ally for the LGBTQ community. And actually, the best way to handle it, I would argue, is just to say, you know what? Actually, I did write that at the time. They're not my views now. I've learned, I've evolved, I've moved on. Trying to pretend even now that you didn't write it is preposterous. And I think you know that.
The bottom line is what I've said, and I will say it again, is that I take full responsibility for everything that was on that site. I'm deeply apologetic for the things that were on that site that hurt people.
That you wrote! That you wrote! That you wrote! This is the thing. She's like, I'm so sorry that those hackers put those things, those awful homophobic things, those transphobic things on my blog. I apologize. It's my blog. I should have had a better password. I apologize. No, what are you talking about? Like you wrote that. Now you want to act like somebody else put that up there, so you want to apologize for something somebody else did when it was actually you.
And I take responsibility for it because it was my site. And that's the end of that. And my views, as you know, and as I've said on television, on air, are quite different from the views that you just read. And that's the end of that.
Well, she don't want to talk about that no more. And there's that. All right. So this is the last clip. And actually, I saved the best for last, which is towards the end of the show, I have to admit. So Michael Knowles comes on. And some very angry woman, I think her name is Nina, she comes in like mean mugging, folded arms. But anyway, I just had to bring that in because I thought that was just so hilarious. But let's watch that for a second.
Okay, well, we've got Michael there. Michael, anything you want to say to Joy?
Yes, wonderful to be here, Joy. Very nice.
Do you really have to come on the screen looking like this? Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, girl, come on. And this is the stereotype where they say, oh, angry black woman. Like,
to meet you, and I guess I would agree with Joy's take. People watched the show in the past tense, and now there's no longer a market for that absolutely vile content, and I think that's good for the culture broadly. And now we can all chat on Pierce's show.
Joy?
The reality is, Michael, the content that you and Piers like to trade in is grievance. And the grievance that white Americans have,
Oh,
that they
here
have to
we
deal
go
with
again.
I'm not American.
diversity, that they have to deal with.
This
You said
isn't
you have a
a grievance.
homophobic
I'm British.
view.
Once again, bringing up race. All Michael said was he's so glad that your trash show has been canceled. He's so glad that you off the air and that you all get to come on to Piers' show to have a nice conversation. And what does No Joy Reid does? She brings up race again. She brings up race. First of all, she accused Piers of being an American. She's like, white American. Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's that's her go-to every time. White people, white people, white people, white man. White people, white people, white people, the white man. Like, damn, give it a rest. But I'm going to say it again. I'm going to let this play. Joy Reid envies white people. Part of me think you really want a white man, and you just secretly envy white women because you are obsessed with white people.
America. And by the way, white grievance is very good for your bottom lines. It's very good for your bank accounts. And so having me here to be able to continue to traffic in that is your shtick. That is what you do. That's what you do, Piers. And so it's great. And I'm sure you find it delightful and fun to say it. But the reality is, Piers, that is what you all traffic in.
I have to correct you.
Well, first of all, I'm not a white American. I think as my accent may reveal.
Well, I know that you're European.
And I'm British.
My only grievances are
and secondly, I don't think anyone, Michael, I will let you respond, but I don't think any host in the history of cable news has waged more grievance than Joy Reid. So the idea that you're now hectoring us about feeling aggrieved about things, you spent years being aggrieved about absolutely everything.
Excuse me, but your favorite president, the president who you completely support, is nothing but
my
grievance.
favorite president was Abraham Lincoln.
Was grievance. His entire campaign was grievance. Well, your former boss on the
I'm not Donald Trump.
He was never his boss. What are you talking about? Now she's making stuff up. Your favorite president. He says, my favorite president was Abraham Lincoln. You were your boss. Excuse me, Piers is in the UK, dumb mutt. Oh, I'm trying not to curse. She's an idiot, dude.
I want to call him your friend. The bottom line is that Donald Trump's entire campaign was about grievance. It was about white America feeling they'd lost their country and they need to take it back. It was about white America feeling that diversity was a threat to their children being able to go to Harvard.
You know what, Joy? In the end,
and that is the reason that you all glom onto him and use him to further your own.
Actually, in the end, most Americans, as you know, most Americans, having voted for him in 2016, and after Trump spent 4 years in the wilderness, and we watched the Democrats run the United States of America, people took a look at that in America, and then they voted for Trump second time round in bigger numbers, including a record number of Latinos, who last time I checked were not white. Anyway, Joy Reid, I'm going to leave it with you. Thank you for coming on Uncensored. Next time, I'm sure we can move on from the stuff we've talked about today and have a more current debate, perhaps, about other issues. But I appreciate you coming on and facing the music, and it's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Why are you lying like that, Piers? It ain't good to see her. Anyway, so there's that. I just gave you the highlights of the show. It's a little snooze fest after that. To be honest, like once Joy got off, I watched a little bit of Nina and Michael and Piers have a interaction with each other, and it went a little bit more smoothly than I thought it would. I must say I was pleasantly shocked, but then I got bored, So if you all going to start agreeing with each other, I'm like, well, why am I watching this? So there you have it, there, taters. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment below this video. Is No Joy Reid as racist and envious of white people as I said she is? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Anyway, don't forget to give this video a like. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, taters.